Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to unpack a really powerful idea from ancient wisdom, but we're going to frame it in a way that's actually useful for our modern lives. It's a whole new way to map your well being. And trust me, it's a lot more than just a bunch of simple judgmental labels. So let's dive in.
Now, I bet you've heard this one before, right? It's a super catchy saying you hear in wellness circles. It basically says if you eat once a day, you're a disciplined yogi. Twice, you're an indulgent bogey. And three times, well, you're a suffering rogi. It's simple, it's easy to remember, but is that really the whole story?
And that's the real question, isn't it? Are we talking about some kind of timeless, unbreakable rule for health? Or is this actually a pretty misleading oversimplification that makes us miss the entire point? We're going to peel back the layers on this and see what's really going on underneath. Okay, first things first, and this is absolutely the most important part. We have to completely reframe this idea. This is not, and I repeat, not about judging people as good or bad. It's about learning how to read the state of your own internal system. So look at this slide. On the left, you've got the old way of thinking, judgment. It just slaps a label on you, which usually just creates shame and makes you not want to change. It's rigid. But on the right, that's where the magic is. We're talking about reading your system. This doesn't label you, it just describes the state your system is in right now. And that's not shameful, that's a map. It gives you a starting point for taking action, and it understands that your state is always, always changing.
So, if this is a diagnostic tool, what is it actually measuring? How do we get good at reading what's going on inside? Well, it turns out it really just comes down to three key things. Think of your body, your whole being really, as a system. First, you've got the load. This is everything coming in, not just calories, but work stress, emotional stuff, even the endless information from your phone. Then you've got your capacity. That's your system's ability to actually handle all that load. Think sleep, fitness, your mental resilience. And finally, the really cool part, regulation. These are the little feedback loops, like hunger signals or your ability to calm down after a stressful meeting, that are constantly trying to match your load to your capacity.
And this right here is the big aha moment. Rogi, bogey, and yogi, they're not who you are. They're just simple descriptions for how well your system is managing that balancing act between load and capacity. It's not a judgment, it's just a report on your system's current operating efficiency. That's it.
So, with that in mind, let's take a closer look at these three states. If we can see them as just objective points on our personal map, we can get a really clear picture of where we are and maybe where we'd like to go.
First up, the Raji state. This is when your system is just plain overloaded. The key here is that word consistently. Your load is constantly bigger than your capacity. In real life, this looks like chaotic consumption, and I don't just mean food. It's doom scrolling for 2 hours. It's chronic stress. It's those wild energy swings where you're wired 1 minute and crashing the next. It's burnout.
Then we've got the bogey state. The system is overindulging. Now, this is that tricky middle ground. You're functional. Things are fine, but it's inefficient. It's like an engine that's running way too rich. It's characterized by consuming for pleasure a little too much and maybe relying on those external rewards to get through the day. The system isn't broken. Not yet, but it's working a lot harder than it really needs to. And finally, we have the yogi state, a system in alignment. Now, let's be super clear. This is not about being some kind of perfect saint. It's about being balanced and, most importantly, highly resilient. A system in this state bounces back from stress quickly. Your load and capacity are generally in sync because of things like mindful consumption, solid routines, and a mind that doesn't fly off the handle at every little thing.
Okay, so this is all great. We have a map, we can diagnose our state, but what do we do about it? How do we actually change things? Well, the good news is we have a toolkit. Ancient wisdom points to 5 specific areas, 5 levers that are totally within our control. And this toolkit has a name, the AV-AVS framework. The best way to think about this is like it's your personal control panel for your own well-being. It breaks down this giant, overwhelming thing called lifestyle into 5 categories you can actually manage. And this slide right here is the practical playbook. Look at these 5 levers. First, ahara. That's your diet, what you take in. A Raji state is irregular meals, lots of sugar. A yogi state is mindful, timely eating. Simple. Next, vihara, your sleep and recovery. Less than 6 hours with your phone in your face, that's Raji. A solid 7 to 8 hours with a real wind down is yogi. Then there's achara, your routines. Living reactively with no structure is Raji. Having strong morning and evening routines is yogi. Fourth is vichara, your inner world, your thoughts. Getting stuck in negative self-talk, raji. Cultivating a non-reactive awareness, yogi. And finally, sanchara, your environment and movement. Being sedentary with a draining social circle is raji. Planned movement and supportive friends? That's yogi. See, it's a control panel.
So how do we actually put this all together? The path forward, the path to self-regulation, isn't about some massive, miserable overhaul of your entire life. It's about being smart, and it's about being compassionate with yourself. And here's maybe the biggest takeaway of all. Nobody is 100% one thing. We are all this complex mix of habits, a habitome, if you will. You might have amazing mental discipline, total yogi vihara, but you might also be running on fumes with sleep, which is rogi vihara. And you know what? That's great news, because it means you have a custom roadmap. You don't have to fix everything at once. You just have to look at your control panel and decide what's my weakest link right now. The strategy is all about using smart swaps. Instead of making this impossible leap from row-beast straight to yogi, which almost never sticks, just aim for bowie first. Go from chaotic eating to planned enjoyable indulgence. Go from zero exercise to finding a fun activity you actually like. It's all about making small, sustainable upgrades just one lever at a time. And this really is the core message. This whole framework is not about becoming a perfect, flawless human being. It's simply about knowing where you are on the map and having the tools to take one small step in a healthier direction. Progress, not perfection. And ultimately, this changes how we even think about health. It's not just about not being sick. True health is an active skill. It's the ongoing process of understanding and mastering your own unique system with all of its quirks, strengths, and vulnerabilities. So I'll leave you with this question. Taking an honest look at your own system today, your diet, your sleep, your routines, your thoughts, your environment, which one of those 5 levers feels like the place to start? What's the one small adjustment you could make that would make the biggest difference? Thanks so much for joining me.